Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is a scene for Septa the Howling Wind, a werewolf game set in San Diego. So, Sierra Darcy is just going about her day on the sept when she hears something out of nowhere. Someone singing very powerfully and beautifully in Gaelic just meets her ears.
Sierra's going to perk up. And what she's going to do is she's going to start tracking the sound. She's curious. If she needs to, she'll even pop heightened senses. But if the sound is that loud, she doesn't want to give herself sensory overload.
And he is singing very powerfully.
Okay.
He's practicing and preparing for the actual performance, so he's doing it as he would.
Okay.
But if she goes to find him, she finds him basically near a little clearing with some picnic tables, basically. He's kind of standing near one. He's got the little hand drum, the Celtic hand drum that he's kind of beating out the beat for the song to with it. The one thing that she would notice is that he is just a remarkable singer. It's not even something that you can really hype up all that much because he's so good at it. It's just one of those things that you have to kind of appreciate. But when he sees her approaching, like when he notices that she's there, he'll actually stop. And he'll look over to her and smile.
Sierra waves. She's not actually talking yet because she's going.
No, look at her and he'll set his drum.
She will tilt her head up.
Yeah. She'll notice that he has a pile of books and some like stuff where he had like a packed lunch and the drum, and he'll just kind of he'll smile down at her. I don't know your wolf forms well enough to know which one you are.
Oh. If you don't know, like, which... Are you asking me my breed, Raya?
Is she in lupus or is she in homid? I thought she was in lupus.
You know, that's a pretty fair assumption. She's in lupus quite often.
Yeah.
In this case, I was assuming she was in homid. That is my...
Okay. It's okay. Just her behavior was lupus.
There are very specific reasons for that.
Yep. But just to be clear, was she in lupus or homid?
Homid. Definitively homid.
Okay. Then you understood that.
Yeah, perhaps something that he can't pick up on is she still has a lot of lupus traits when in homid.
Okay. So he'll smile at her. The retcon, he'll smile at her and say, "Hello, laser dragons."
Hello, Raya. You sounded great, by the way.
Well, thank you. I'm going to be performing that song at the Moot with Saoirse and Liam.
Well, it sounds like it's coming along really well so far.
Well, thank you. I've always preferred to sing in the old tongue.
Makes sense.
I'll kind of sit down at the table. No, to be having any of this. Kind of wave his hand over the food. He's got some beef jerky and cheese and little bits of bread and stuff like that.
Okay. Sierra really wants to make a joke about the cheese, but she does not do that.
Why, thank you.
It's just in her head. She's just like, no, Sierra, don't do that. And she'll say, sure, right? Thank you. She kind of glides over and get some goddamn cheese.
She would probably notice that the books on the table kind of stand out. He's got a small stack of books. One of them is called The Bridge. And she noticed that it's about bridging your Catholic belief with LGBT concerns. One of them is about bisexuality. And the other one is essentially about like dealing with a family member who's LGBT.
You know what? Fuck it. She's a Thayers and she's slightly crazy. She's just staring at the stack of books. She's not saying anything about it. She doesn't really show any emotion one way or another yet. She's just staring at them.
They'll notice that. Kind of look at them and look at her. Oh, I've been trying to put a little bit of knowledge in my head.
Mm-hmm. She nibbles on her cheese, looking at him.
He'll sigh kind of deeply and rub his face. Oh, you probably don't know what to hear in my business.
No, quite the opposite, right? I love hearing, issues that people have and all that. It's part of my job.
His lips will kind of... when somebody's lips go tight because they're thinking and they're chewing on them? On the inside, he does that. He thinks for a moment. I've always been known for being a very traditional man. Something I don't really see as being a problem. And I've not been to America much. Once or twice. Very short trips. Some of them just coming through, flying out of other places. And I've noticed that your society and culture lies a lot more on individual. I can't even say the damn word.
It's a long word, Brian. Individuality.
Thank you. I thought I was trying to say the word individualism, but I don't know if it's a word. Anyway, I'm sorry, English is my second language. Yes. Yes, that just flew out of his fucking mouth. His first language is Gaelic.
She nods. She kind of guessed that, considering he mentioned that he prefers singing in Gaelic.
And so he'll stop. And that beyond that, his second language is UK, like the United Kingdom, or like Irish, like European English, not American English.
Which is slightly different. Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll sit there and he'll kind of think for a moment. My son. I don't want to say he came out to me, as it's more that I found him. He'll kind of roll his hands with another man. And in the moment, I was... Hell, I'll tell you, Sierra, I ain't raged since I was a Cleath. No, I raged once when I was a fostering. And as you get older, as you come into your elder years and you find your grace, You start to learn how to control your rage. It becomes almost impossible. And I swear I almost raged. Seeing him pressed against another man, but he just, 404, elder not found. Immediately, just, what?
She at this point is just kind of, she's looking at him. She's giving, not looking at him in his eyes, obviously. But definitely giving him her undivided attention. She doesn't talk about all this. She wants to let him get it all out before she says anything.
I was so shocked. I'm not gonna lie. My reaction was a bit strong. I told him that if this was the path he was going to take, then he wasn't doing it under the Donovan line. He says to me he's bisexual, and oh wow, okay, didn't know that happened. And got real mad about it. Went and talked to Yalf about it. Went and talked to his kinfolk, Nick. Apparently he works at a crisis center for LGBT. I don't know letters. There's a bunch of letters.
There's a lot of letters.
Oh my god! And that's so Fiona comes busting out of him for a moment. He reels it back. He takes a breath, and he's like, "No. We'll get to that in a moment. Hold on. There's an order to things. If we're going to stick to him, lass."
She nods.
Holds his hands up like, fuck. Okay. I talk to him. I get over my initial shock. Shell shocked here, lass. I'm trying to figure out how. And he just babbling for a moment, just like, okay. And so I buy these books and I'm reading through all of them. And I'm at a loss, lass. I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm trying to understand this for my son, and I'm trying to accept this, but it's like accepting. There's so much, lass. It's like accepting someone who has delusions or something like that. Like the friend they're seeing in front of them is real. You can tell me all day it's real, but it don't make sense. It's dysfunctional. I don't see how homosexuality isn't dysfunctional.
The first thing that I'll mention, Raya, is all relationships are dysfunctional at a certain level.
I get that. But this literally goes against the point of
reproduction?
Yes, but also of family, tradition, of the covenant between a man and a woman. The sacredness there. For what? For sex, lass. For look, I'm not. I was married for longer than my family would have liked, and less than I would have liked. Got Liam out of it. My wife, her mind took a bend and I lost her. It wasn't easy. But my wife, she wasn't able to be what some would call a proper wife after a time. But she still drew breath. She's my wife. I stayed married and true to that woman until, God, I lost her. I spent years alone in our bed. But I made a vow to her. Till death do us part. To be true to her, to be honest to her, to be faithful to her, to forsake all others. And I don't regret a day of it. I don't regret the empty pillow beside me, or having to raise our son alone. It seems like nowadays everyone's so wrapped up in self-indulgence and just chasing happiness like a drug. They don't take the time to sit and let life happen. And life has its downs. You can't have everything you want. I don't know, Lass. And oh my God, now it's even more complicated. Now I'm finding out that people think that they can be other genders or sex. I don't even know that one. Wow, they're thinking they can change their bodies and yeah. That one. Out of game. That one looks big.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a couple steps later in the instruction manual.
Exactly. And I mean, I'm hearing that allies are a part of the community, but they're not a part of the community, and that asexual people are a part of the community, but they're not a part of the community, and that there's a community in the first place.
Oh,
and that there's all
mention of asexual.
Yeah, he's like, he just rubs his face. He's like, and you can't say certain things, and people are it's one of those things where I'm trying to follow an idea of live and let live. That's kind of how I try to live my life. Live and let live. Like, I may not agree with the fact that you're homosexual. Not you, obviously. We're speaking of all of you. But I'm not gonna stop you. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna. If that's how you want to live your life, I'm just gonna question how you live your life. That's all. But it's just, it seems like it's starting to force into the narrative. It seems like it's starting to shake his head. Like, if you don't accept it openly and you put this into a part of your life, then you're wrong or shamed or something. And I'm so confused by all of it. Like, I want to support me boy. I want to love him and be happy for him. But how can I be happy for him literally signing up for a life of misery? Why would you do this to yourself? I mean, he's married. Shouldn't have that assaulted? He married a woman. This is bisexual. He puts his hands up like, hell no, I'm not getting this.
Sierra puts the section on polyamory even further into the instruction manual.
Yeah, no, he's really lost there. That's like, put your person. But no, but you have a beautiful wife at home. Why would you run around? No. He'll kind of hold his hands up and he's like, no. You know what? No. There's a part of me that just wants to write this all off. But he was caught with a fae, and obviously it did some fae magic to his brain. He head dunks the table. Like, thank God he can regenerate, because he actually probably hit his head hard enough to give himself a headache. He just drops his head. Ouch.
You okay, Raya?
No! He'll just lift his head. No!
Okay.
I'm not even sexist, okay? I don't think this is a situation where men who are... He'll roll his hand. Like, oh God, help me not insult this word. Feminine? Or like us as men or women who are masculine are That's his woman or something. I just there's an order. There's nobody respects that anymore.
Okay, I think that the order is just changing. It's different than what it used to be. And in a way, this order's always been there. It's just that people have had to hide it. Because, well, I'm sure that there were plenty of parents that did rage on their children when they found them like that. So the fact that you have books that you're talking about and that you want to work through this, it's a commendable thing, Raya, and one that I don't think should be discounted. Okay. So, intrinsically, you feel that what he, who he sleeps with, or who he has romantic entanglements with, just doesn't seem. I don't want to say right because it doesn't seem to be a question of morality, at least 100%. It's just unnatural, right?
It's less about it being natural or not, and more about being above our our basic drives.
Hmm. All right. Well, the thing I'd say in response to that is everyone from any orientation can have a can devolve into that.
How so, lass?
Mm, even for straight people, there's people that they'll come across that make them, and forgive my language, right, lose their fucking minds. Without getting too personal, it's definitely happened to me. The only difference is, well, your son, he had that for another man.
God, oh God, I'm trying not to think that it's just because he's Faye. But I've been screaming a hypocrite for that one.
I don't think. I'm pretty sure that's a. I'm pretty sure that's a. Yeah. And if it wasn't consensual, I'll go find Faye and get him. But that's beside the point.
Can I can I tell you what I don't want to have happen, lass?
Of course, I.
My family, the Donovan family, we have always the McFionn family, our neighboring family. That was about as diplomatic as he could have been.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's like.
They have always been very, very tied in with the Fae courts. Are you familiar at all with the Fae? Those born to the souls of the fair folk.
um, no, Raya, not at all, actually.
Okay. For the most basic primer that I possibly can, there are some people who are born with the spirit of one of the fair folk as their soul. They're like us a bit, like kind of how we were born with the spirit of a wolf tied to ours, you know?
All right. Yeah,
And
I can.
just as we have our whole society and our whole world and our whole world and law, they have their whole thing going. And the McPheons, they have completely, oh my God, seated themselves in that world. And because of that, my family, we feel that they've neglected their duties to the nation because they've been paying attention to the face side of it. Although it was hardline, very anti-Fae, kept as many little contacts as he could. And I fell in love with a Fae lass when I was a young man. And I took her as my mate, as my wife. To say that she was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen would belittle why I loved her. You could never distill such perfection into words that could be captured. And she had the spirit of this wee little fox in her. She was the funniest thing. She was always making jokes or speaking in ways that just threw me for a loop. When I was younger, I could appreciate it a bit more. Then we had a couple of good years under us, too. It was a beautiful life. I was working on helping the master a challenge with my sept. Serving as one of the guardians. We had Liam. But after Liam was born, her mind started to slip and she could turn into this wee little fox. Literally, she could become a fox, a red fox. But over time, over the course of a couple of years, she stopped turning into a human. She just stopped. She always came around. Liam thought that she was a pet. Didn't know where his mother had went. Honestly, had been too young to really honestly remember that he had lost her. And my father hated the fact that I married a Fae. He all but wrote me out of the line because I was his only son. He really couldn't. We never made up. He died before he could ever find that love again between a father and a son. He took the fact that she had lost her mind essentially and become a fox to be his victory. He was right that I should have never married her. But I always loved her. One winter morning, about 5 years ago, I was sitting on my porch. The first snow had fallen. It doesn't snow very often, but it's beautiful snow. And she appeared. I hadn't actually seen her for a few years by that point. I didn't know what to think, but she appeared. And I'd love to say that she sliced across the yard, beautiful, graceful, like I remembered. But she didn't. She was all but hobbling. and so heavy. I picked her up and put her on my lap in the porch, and she died in my arms. And when she died, she melted back into the woman that I had married. Hair gray like mine, wrinkles on her face. He takes a deep breath. I lived in a world where my wife was gone. He'll kind of tilts his head. So I know what it's like to not only lose the living love you have with someone that you're close to, like me and my father, but I also know the pain that can come from choosing to stay in an unconventional relationship. So I wouldn't have left my wife or moved on. You know how much it hurts to live alone like that for so long. I wouldn't want to see that for my son. I'll kind of look down. You see the tricky position I'm in, lass?
I do, Ryan. I think that one of the best ways to perhaps get through this is, it's going to sound very strange and very simple. Talk to him and hear what he has to tell you about his life, at least as it is.
No rubbish face.
All children need some kind of parent, whether it's a mom or a dad or another gender. I think
this was not a problem when I was young.
all right, it probably was. It just wasn't in your field yet.
You think, lass? You started to talk.
I was just going to say that, if I can remember now. Oh, right. I remember now. Once you just talk to him and learn more about this with him, and recognize that no, he's not hurting himself, and he's not hurting anybody else. I think if you're able to get into his corner, help him with this, I think you're going to see yourself starting to relax on things too. The family is a strong thing, no matter what form or shape that it takes at the time. For example, right, would you like to know what my family is like?
Oh, Gavera, please go on. Hand motion.
I was raised by a lesbian woman, a transgender kinfolk, and a wolf.
The Black Furies have always been a bit revolutionary in their family styles. Hold on.
Then Sierra will just shrug and she'll say, "What had happened was my mother, she didn't want to have a human kinfolk mate because it just, in a lot of the ways that you're listing your misgivings, she had a lot of the same. It just didn't feel natural for her, and it felt just it just didn't feel right for her. So to distance herself from it, she went and found a lupus mate instead."
That's not unheard of. And I was married to a fox so I was just kind of like,
Well, also,
there.
she also met and fell in love with one of the kinfolk on the set who was currently transitioning from male to female. We can handle it later, Raya. We don't have to tackle everything right now.
Yeah, because his face.
But they fell in love, and so my Garu mother took her as essentially a mate.
All right.
And 3 of them helped to raise me.
All right. Okay. Let's back this up a bit. So what you're saying is you were married. You're married. Okay, no, you were raised by a male wolf and 2 women. He'll just kind of his brows furrow.
Yes.
One who had been born a man.
Biologically, yes.
He's trying so hard. The strain on his face is precious. And you're Dorothy. Were they all together?
My moms were, yeah. My mom and dad, though, it was a very, very close friendship.
Okay.
Communicating with my dad was very hard for the first few years of my life. Because he was a wolf.
I'm living through that right now because my mate is from an entirely different time. I took your God, I don't even want to address this without completely losing my mind, but some of your stepmates decided to play a little bit of time travel and come back with some kinfolk. I took the female of them as my mate.
Oh, I didn't catch all of that, Johnny. I'm sorry.
He said, do you just want me to repeat what he said?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, he'll say a lot of some of your stepmates went back in time, apparently, and brought back some howler kinfolk with them. He holds his hands up, like of all the shit he's had to deal with when getting to the sept, that's the one that almost caused him to challenge for alpha.
No. Sierra actually looks mad as fuck, and she's like, "Those."
He holds his hand up.
Who went back in time and didn't invite me, Raya?
I think it was what's his name, Bleeding Fire and Man with a Thousand Faces and uh, Seeker of Redemption. Anyway, but to go back in time, they
The
brought back
salt
three.
is real right now.
He'll hold his hands up like I don't know. I'm salty over the fact they brought back kinfolk. He'll say yes. They brought back 3 kinfolk with them, a female and 2 males. The White Howler kinfolk, and oh boy, he just looks like he could frenzy again. I took the female as my mate, and I'm sending the boys back to Ireland. I claimed them as my kinfolk because I can't even begin to express how from top to bottom this was just bad. But my lass doesn't know human traditions or English or modern times. And so I've been very carefully working with my mate to try to get her up to 21st century living when I'm still back in the 50s myself. I hope Sierra can appreciate the look on his face.
Yeah, no, at this point she is. Underneath all the salt of they went back in time and didn't invite me. She's mad as fuck. She's super mad. But mad more in that when she gets home, she's just gonna throw shit around and shout a lot kind of way, not like a real legitimately mad kind of way.
I tried to explain to your alpha, using as small words as I possibly could, that disrupting the flow of time like that and creating a paradox could possibly undo creation and kill all of us. Or at the very least, yet again, send every black spiral dancer ever onto the sept to claim the White Howler blood. Which is why I'm sending them home.
Ain't nobody ever taken Ireland, Ryan.
Ain't nobody ever taken Ireland. Are you having that? You know why? And he'll point at himself.
These are facts.
Oh, God. I'll smile at her. You know, I used to be alpha of me sept. I actually retired from it. Come here to help my son with his child. Decided you needed to master a challenge. Sometimes I wonder if the path that led me to the sept is to inject a little bit of reason into its chaotic ways. I'm trying so hard to keep up with Olia. I'll take a deep breath. I don't want to lose my son, Sierra. I don't want to end up like me and my dad did. And I don't want to be that. that thing blocking the path in his life. But this is so different than everything I ever knew, everything I ever expected. I didn't have many expectations of him, but my God, this is like, if you could possibly take yourself and throw yourself more down the path I didn't think you'd be going on. You know?
I mean, at this point, Sierra's going to go ahead and counter some of the Fiona dramatics. And she's just going to ask, to be fair, Raya, is he dancing the spiral?
You know, I named him Dances on Edge for a reason. That's his Scar name out again.
That's hilarious.
It's okay. He turned around and returned the favor and named me Wade and Found Wanting.
Well, there. Again, Raya, did you really? Did you think you think he's gonna dance the spiral? Like, is that a thing here? Like, is there?
He clunks his head on the table again. And he shakes it while it's down there. No! Somehow, I don't think that's going to be a problem because he married Yuri fucking Konietzko's niece.
Well, you
And I
don't.
don't think she's gonna let him get there.
Yeah, see, Raya, I don't think that's gonna be an issue then.
How did he do that? I'm still trying to figure it out, Lass.
I mean, I'm curious about it too, personally, but that's just me.
You have to understand, he literally just comes up to me and he's like, "Oh, here's my wife." And I'm like, your uncle is a legend uncle. I hit him. I literally punched him in the face for marrying her.
Why?
Because. You don't deserve that.
Raya, if I can speak freely, he also didn't deserve to be punched in the face by his dad.
He's a stout lad. He can take it.
That's not the point, Raya.
It was okay. The next blow just hit him in the head.
Raya, why'd you do it twice?
Because once wasn't enough. Have you seen this woman?
Yes, I have.
It's like a statue stepped down. She's too powerful for him. It's as sick as that.
She is pretty good looking. Sierra said super casually, like she's kind of just agreeing to agree.
He does not hold acts of lesbianism to the same standard as acts of male homosexuality. He lets that go.
Of course he doesn't. It's like that. All right.
He is an old school. We are that old school.
Oh my God! If Kieran assumes that Sierra is lesbian, it's going to be a hilarious conversation.
Oh my God.
I suggest, Raya, that if you ever speak to him about this, which I strongly suggest you do, I also strongly suggest not punching him twice, or any amount of times, or striking him any amount of times.
But that's how we communicate our love with each other.
That's
how we know we're still okay, whether we can punch each other or not. If I can't hit him, there's a real big problem there.
Okay, yeah, no, 404, Black Fury can't compute. Black Fury not found.
That's serious, too. I'm having a feeling that's not the way my son and I should communicate, is it? That's what you're trying to tell me, isn't it?
Well, hold on. Maybe we can turn this into something.
Come on.
Maybe we can turn this into something. As much as I don't suggest striking people in your family out of anger, I don't think that's a good idea. You can definitely do something like maybe work to find your common ground again.
His common ground is that he thinks it's okay to shag men. I don't. He'll shake his head like I don't see.
I'm not talking about that, Raya.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
I was talking about so that way you two can have a real, genuine, and honest conversation about this. No shagging is perfectly fine. Anyway,
Shake his head. I'm sorry. Let's get back to the original problem. I know we put a pin in it, but it's still there.
yes, it is. Yeah.
Like herpes.
So, what? What?
Sometimes it goes away, but then it comes rearing back up.
Do we even get herpes, Ryan?
Yes, a lot.
Wait, oh my god, we get herpes?
Shrug. I've led a good and pure life, lass.
Sierra puts it in the back of her head. Gonna have to cure that shit later.
I don't even know what they're calling them nowadays. Last time I checked, they were venereal diseases. Then they turned into sexually trans, and now they're something infection. He'll shake his head.
I'm not gonna lie. I still call them STDs. I don't know what they call them now. I didn't know that there was a new name for them.
He'll just shake his head like this is why I'm so glad I lead a pure life. With my white Harlequin folk mate.
Sierra is also glad that she lives a pure life with her sadistic almost mate.
I just don't understand why people, and this is coming from a Fianna lass, a Fianna elder. I don't understand why somebody would traumatize their life so much.
Well, to be honest, right, there's not really a choice.
What do you mean it's not a choice?
If you chose right now, Raya, to have sex with another man,
Hey.
and I'm not talking about that soap opera like rolling around in bed shit. I'm talking about right in front of the salad.
Oh, what? Why would I be having sex in front of me salad?
I don't know. Apparently it happened. Apparently it's a video. I don't know.
Shake his head. We're having sex with salads now.
No, not with salad. It's in front of the salad.
Talk about ranch dressing.
I mean, I suppose you. No, okay, I'm not going to get into.
Oh. He's got a face he makes. Like,
See, you see how you recoil?
Yes, because it's disgusting.
Because you don't like that. Because even if you chose to be like, oh yeah, let's give it a shot, you'd be like, nah, fuck that. This is disgusting. I can't fuck with this. Right, Raya?
Oh, yes, right. Okay, yes, right.
So, on a certain level, it's not a choice for you.
But
it's not a choice for you to be into that. It just happens.
But that's normal. That's the right way.
I mean, for some people have different normals.
No, lass. This is a normal. There's a normative, and if you don't, you're an outlier if you're outside of that. Oh.
All right, Ryan, can you describe it for me?
You know, you're born, you grow up, you get your education in your head, whether by schooling or from a trade. You get married, and you have more babies. You help them to get their education and learn their trade. They get married and have babies. You help take care of them, and you die. It's a good life.
isn't your son technically doing all of those things already?
Damn you, lass! Lass, keep your logic to yourself.
She just kind of sits there and shrugs like, "Oh, look, Raya, it's just doing all
Double face palms and rubs his face. Oh! Oh my god. Okay. Okay.
Normality, for the most part, barring very extreme exceptions, is a comfortable idea of how things should be for a specific person. Raya. It is very obvious that fucking men is not something that you're into, Raya. So it is not normal for you.
No
However,
shit. Fucking man.
it is normal for him. And while just because you're okay with something and that you accept something doesn't mean that you necessarily are that. Like even if/when you manage to get past through all this with your son and everything's all good again, I'm assuming you're not going to want to fuck men regardless.
He'll just shake his head at her like, you keep saying this?
Just doing it for a reason.
No, lass. No. I'm very much not about that life. No.
So at that point,